Communication. On OSRC News at 7, joint NDLEA community operation raise cannabis plantation in Inuakoko. Akure car dealers protest alleged customs harassment. Aggrieved women rally in Abuja for parliamentary participation. And in sports, Botswana declares public holiday after World Athletics heroics. Thank you for joining us on the comprehensive news package. My name is Adebimpe Akindele. A cannabis plantation covering hundreds of hectares of land has been discovered and destroyed through the joint efforts of the International Drug Law Enforcement Agency, the NDLEA, and the residents of Inuakoko in Ondo State. The plantation was secretly cultivated by yet to be identified persons who secured the place in the thick forest of Ejidu village in Inuakoko. The report is presented from our studio.
Ondo State has over the years earned a reputation as one of Nigeria's largest hubs for cannabis cultivation. Serviced by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, working with the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA), estimates that about 8,900 hectares of cannabis are under cultivation across 6 southwest states, with Ondo State ranking among the highest. In 2022 alone, NDLEA destroyed over 255 hectares of cannabis farms in the state during Operation Habib, and other raids disrupting plantations that could have yielded almost 500,000 kilograms of cannabis if harvested. That background explains the alarm raised recently in Inuakoko, Akoko Northwest local government area of the state. Residents reported the presence of strange farmers who allegedly came from River State securing land through an indigene now on the run. For weeks, NDLEA operatives trailed the suspect, making discreet visits to the area and effecting a few arrests. The agency, in collaboration with local vigilantes and community leaders, successfully located a large cannabis plantation hidden deep within the forest, away from the typical farming areas where ordinary farmers work daily. For 2 consecutive days, a joint patrol team made up of NDLEA officers and local residents cut down the extensive cannabis plantation and destroyed a structure built by suspects who fled the area. Community representatives from various age groups in Inuakoko have since been conducting continuous surveillance across farming areas to prevent criminals from using the local forest as basis for illegal cultivation. Kunle Ario, Osrc News.
The Nigeria Police Force has announced that the enforcement of tinted glass permits will begin nationwide on October 2nd this year. This was disclosed by the Jigawa State Command's Public Relations Officer, Shisu Adam. According to Mr. Adam, online registration and application for the permits is ongoing, and members of the public are urged to follow the stepwise process, a smooth application. He explained that applicants must create an account using their NIN, BVN, or TIN, verify their account via email, then log into Select Tinted Glass Permit service and upload their vehicle details along with supporting documents. The police spokesperson added that after the application, vehicle inspection and fingerprint biometric capturing will be scheduled at the designated Nigeria Police Force Intelligence Department. Adams warned motorists against patronizing unauthorized individuals attempting to exploit the permit process. The Nigerian Army says its troops in 6th Division have arrested 17 suspected oil thieves and dismantled 9 illegal refining sites across the Niger Delta region. The Army also said over 45,000 liters of stolen petroleum products were recovered during a 12-day clampdown on black spots in the area. Deputy Director, 6th Division Army Public Relations Jonah Danjuma explained that the operation carried out in collaboration with other security agencies and recorded significant gains against economic saboteurs. Lieutenant General Danjuma assured that the troops will sustain the operations by continuing to comb notorious corridors used by oil thieves to carry out illegal activities. Yori Local Government Council in Kebbi State has imposed a curfew from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. following a violent clash between youths involved in gold mining in the Garin Kata community. The violence reportedly erupted after a misunderstanding among some miners, resulting in the loss of one person and destruction of property. Announcing the curfew, the chairman of Yari Local Government Area, Abubakar Shuaibu, said he had notified the police area commander and the Department of State Services prior to the escalation of the situation. Authorities said they have recovered the body of the deceased and buried him according to Islamic rites. To chieftaincy matters, the Oyo State government will this week commence a one-week program of activities for the coronation of the 44th Olubadan, Oba Rashidi Ladoja. The State Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Dr. Oyelade, disclosed that the program will open tomorrow with a cultural exhibition and symposium showcasing Ibadan's heritage and the historical importance of the Olubadan's tool. On Wednesday, a health outreach program will be held across major communities to reflect Ladoja's long-standing passion for public welfare. Thursday will feature a state banquet and interfaith prayers for peace and prosperity in Ibadan land to be attended by dignitaries, clerics, and traditional rulers from within and outside Oyo State. The grand coronation ceremony will take place on Friday at Mapo Hall, Ibadan's iconic civic center, with President Bola Tinubu, state governors, members of the diplomatic corps, and representatives of traditional institutions expected in attendance. Well, women inclusivity is one of the stories we have for you today as women clamor for more representatives at the National Assembly. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The MTN Mega Billion promo is here. Dial star 900 hash and recharge 100 naira or more before 5 p.m. and you could be a millionaire. At 7 p.m., all cash prizes will be paid directly into your Momo account. Dial star 900 hash. Start recharging now and stand a chance to win big in the MTN Mega Billion promo.
Welcome back. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at OSRC TV, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel OSRC TV Ondo for feedback and comments. For the rest of the news, motor dealers have protested their continuous harassment by officers of the Nigeria Customs Service in Ondo State. The group alleged the officers of imposing illegal charges on their vehicles at entry points into the state after payments of required custom duties at Lagos ports. The protesters carried placards with various inscriptions indicating threats of legal action against the federal agency. According to the motor dealers, officials of the service impound their vehicles on claims of under-assessed vehicles, which they insisted were properly cleared and duties paid at the ports. They asked for compensation coupled with urgent solution of import duty contradictory policies. Efforts to reach the controller in charge of Ondo and Ekiti states proved abortive.
With them to allow to give us peace, even vehicles that we have sold for 5 years. These people are Okura custom base here. They will stop them and started giving us problem. We've been to the office on several occasions, appealed to them, but it seems as if the appeal is no more working. Some days ago, we went to our border here, or when here, that is Osrc and Ondo State border. We went there on a peaceful protest. We appeal to them to allow us, the moment we pay duty at the Lagos port and our vehicle is clear, we don't know any other reason why we should come here and they be stopping us.
How we legitimately clear our vehicle at the seaport in Lagos, and on the releasing the vehicle coming to Akure, this Nigerian custom, they went accepted the vehicle and they will start extorting money from people. This is illegal. We made it known to them that this must stop and this should not continue because the money demanded from us has already been given to them. And why would they be stopping the vehicle after it has been released by high-rank officer? That very point. And we made it clear that when they asked us to pay the money, we gave it to them. If it's not really the actual money they wanted, they shouldn't have been collected it from us. But for them to have collected the money, they have no reason to go on the highway harassing customers who already bought those vehicles.
Motor dealers protesting in Akure. Hundreds of women have protested in Abuja to push for a bill that would add women-only seats in the Senate and House of Representatives. Several African countries, from Senegal to Rwanda, have increased the number of women legislators by using quota systems. Nigeria, which has no such system, only counts for 4 women senators out of 109 and 16 women in the 360-member House of Representatives. Dubbed the Special Seats Bill, the legislation would add 1 woman-only seat for both the House and the Senate in each of Nigeria's 36 states, plus the Federal Capital Territory, although implementing the changes would require a constitutional amendment. Advocates say that reserved seats would serve as a corrective to the financial barriers, entrenched gender roles, and the domination of politics by male power brokers that keep women out of power in Africa's most populous nation. In education, the Vice Chancellor, Federal University of Technology and Environmental Sciences in Ekiti, Professor Benga Aribisala, says the institution will take off with academic programs in 4 faculties. Aribisala, who expressed hope that the maiden admission of students into the institution will begin in October, listed the faculties as engineering, computer science, natural and applied sciences, and environmental sciences. The Vice Chancellor, who spoke at Ifaki Ekiti State, said the new university is working towards a fully residential system that the National Universities Commission had already conducted resource verification exercise and expressed satisfaction with some of the facilities. Professor Aribisala assured that the university would prioritize character and learning. There have been series of reactions to federal government's decision to introduce Mandarin as a foreign language in Nigeria's senior secondary school curriculum. While some stakeholders applaud the move as a step towards preparing students for global opportunities, others warn that the education system may not yet be ready for the implementation of the language commonly spoken by Chinese. Oluwanifemi Abayomi reports.
Mandarin, a language spoken by over 1 billion people, primarily in China, is set to become part of Nigeria's senior secondary school curriculum from the 2025 to 2026 academic session. The announcement was made in Abuja during the inauguration of the 14th Chinese corner at Government Secondary School, Tundu, Wanda. Supporters of the policy say China's position as the second largest economy and a key Nigerian partner makes learning its language a smart choice.
So even Nigerian opportunities is like creating an opportunity for market opportunities. If you're an expert, whether you want to be an interpreter or you want to work with any Chinese company, China is all over the world. So that means you are creating openings for Nigerian young people to venture out of Nigeria, go to America, go to Asia, go to Europe. And it could be interpretation, you can work in their companies. Then I want to equally tell you that Nigeria has what they call a strategic partnership with China. China will have its own contract agreement written in both languages, but we need to understand Mandarin. Some certain category of people must understand that language, so that whatever is there, we should be able to know what is the contract talking about.
But not everyone is convinced. Parents and cultural advocates have expressed concerns, insisting indigenous languages must not be sidelined in the process.
In fact, way back in the 70s, Professor Fafunwa said that that our subjects, science and all sorts of things, they should be taught in the local language because it will enhance better understanding. So the problem with an average child now is that you are teaching physics or chemistry or biology. He sees the plants around, but the moment you bring in all these Latinized words for those things, you make it more complex for them. So he will first of all interpret the thing in English before he can now dawn on him that, okay, this is the plant they are talking about.
Teachers Union are also cautious. The state chairman of the Academic Staff Union of Secondary School warned that the system lacks enough qualified instructors and teaching materials for Mandarin, urging the government to slow down implementation.
For every subject that you want to teach, you need a teacher. As you need the students, you need the teachers. So I don't know of any Chinese teacher ready, who is an indigenous of the country that's ready, except we want to bring expatriates to come and begin to teach. But that will now take us to the issue of how relevant is the teaching of Chinese language in our school. Well, government can make policies.
Analysts argue that while the initiative could strengthen bilateral relations and open doors for Nigerian students, its success depends on clear planning, training, and resource allocation.
For every change, it should be gradual. The process should be gradual. As much as they want students to study it, they should start with pilot schools. You can have some pilot schools in all over the state, maybe 1 or 2 local governments across the 30 states of Nigeria, Abuja inclusive. So if they start through that, they experiment it, monitor and evaluate such a situation. That are they actually getting it right? If the answer is yes, then they expand. I think that's the best thing to do.
As Nigeria prepares to integrate Mandarin into its secondary school curriculum, many agree the vision is laudable. However, stakeholders insist the rollout must be carefully managed to ensure it complements rather than disrupt the country's educational priorities. Oluwanifemi Abayomi, Osrc News.
Meanwhile, United States government has expressed continued commitment to supporting young Nigerian students, innovators, and change makers who are willing to study in America. U.S. Embassy Public Diplomacy Officer Brian Newbert stated this at the 2025 Educational U.S.-Nigeria Fair in Abuja. Newbert said the United States is proud to partner Nigeria in empowering students who are the next generation of leaders, innovators, and change makers. He explained that the Education USA team offers free counseling services to help prospective students navigate the application process. He counseled the students to responsibly maintain their student visa status if they eventually succeeded in getting their student visa. And from the foreign scene proper, Guineans have voted in a constitutional referendum that critics allege is a maneuver by the military leadership to consolidate its authority. The vote, held under a significant security presence and a ban on protests, could pave the way for current transitional president to run for a further 7-year term. The Prime Minister stated that the poll would return the country to constitutional order and end its international isolation. The process is now focused on counting the votes that will determine the nation's political future. Taiwo Adewumi tells us more.
After taking power in a coup and leading Guinea for 4 years, Amadou Uriba cast his vote in a referendum that could pave the way to the presidency and 7 years in office. At a voting station on the other side of the capital, his prime minister says this marks a turning point for the West African country.
We will return to our constitutional order, ensuring Guinea's place on the African and international stage. For 4 years we have been sidelined because of sanctions, but I believe now many things will change for the better.
The military leadership and its supporters have campaigned long and hard for this day, convincing people like Ojana Balbari to take part in the referendum.
Life is very hard, especially in the markets. The leadership must improve this problem, especially for us women.
Many Ghanaians says even a flawed constitution is better than none at all.
We are young. We will soon have a new constitution. We want to work. That's what they promised. We want those promises realized.
Ahead of the referendum, public demonstrations were banned and political parties suspended, among them the 2 largest in the country. Senior opposition figures went into hiding and exile. They said the referendum is part of a plan to cement the current leadership's authority. Despite criticism from the opposition and some right activists, supporters say the draft constitution contains some positives. It provides for increased representation of women in government, as well as the establishment of a high court and a senate. Crucial steps, they say, in the return to an elected government. Adewumi Taiwo, Osrc News.
In sports, Botswana has declared a public holiday to celebrate the country's victory in the men's 4x400 meters at the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo, the first African nation to win the event. President Duma Boko hailed the gold medal as a historic African win in an address while praising the team for their performance. He announced Monday, 29 September, a holiday to celebrate the achievement a day ahead the country's Independence Day, and described the moment as electric, saying that Botswana's performance spoke to its rising stature on the global stage. Botswana team edged out the US, the winners of the last 10 world titles, in a rain-drenched race, while South Africa took 3rd position.
Portugal running well on the inside, dragging Vernon Norwood with him, but look how much water is on lane 1. Norwood's feet will be absolutely soaked as we watch this first changeover. Botswana in front, arguably dead level with the Americans, and they've got Jacori Patterson, who's been running 43 for fun this year, although he didn't get an individual medal.
Jacori Patterson based definitely out to prove a point here. He's got Letsile Tabago, another athlete that might be disappointed with his performance so far here in Tokyo. It was an advantage for the South Africans in the drier lanes on the outside, but everybody now into lane 1. You can see the athletes choosing to run just off the curb. There's standing water on the inside of the track here. Jacori Patterson in the lead for the Americans at the moment, but he's got Letsile Tabago, the Olympic 200-meter champion, on his shoulder. Tabago is finding something here in the last 30 metres. Patterson.
What a run by the world record holder. McQuaid to Benjamin. Kevin Atshipi And the South Africans with Nene. It was inevitable Battens would fall. It's so wet out there. What a finishing prospect. Kevin Atshipi went 10th on the all-time list with his brilliant run in the final of the 400. Nene is smarting. He was the fastest man in the world this year coming into these World Championships. Benjamin smashed Varhom and De Santos in the 4 hurdles. Can the Botswanans do it? No African nation has ever won this title. And look at Nene. Benjamin's driving for the line. What a finish. They're all closing. The American might be caught. Botswana by a whisker. What a race. What a week it's been in Tokyo. And for the first time in history, it's an African nation on top. In pouring rain, in atrocious conditions, they have risen like gods. What a finish! What a relay! The Botswanans in the
explosive 4x400 meters there. Congratulations to Botswana. Before we go tonight, another look at the major stories. A combined team of the International Drug Law Enforcement Agency and the Unwakoko community have destroyed a cannabis plantation in the area. We told you that Ondo State motor dealers have protested against alleged continuous harassment by the Nigeria Customs Service officers. You also heard that hundreds of women have rallied in Abuja pressing for a bill that will preserve special seats to boost female representation in the National Assembly. Lastly, tonight, the government of Botswana has declared Monday, September 29th, public holiday to celebrate heroics of the men's team to the World Athletics in Tokyo, Japan. Thank you for watching the news tonight. Good evening.